We're out here. It's about 7 a.m. in the morning, so it's just starting to get light. And right now is a time when a lot of these steely blues are really being touched by more of those grey tones. A little bit of green. So, here's where we need to be. We've got our paint. And it's time to get started. All right. First colour off the ranks. What's it going to be? I think I'm going to kick off with just a little bit of grey. That sounds like a bit of me. Payne's grey though. I think that's a good idea. Open my eyes, I cannot see. Dun 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 dun. A little bit of Payne's grey, and then teeny tiny bit of blue. If I've got some of that baby blue. Here we go. Hello, how are we doing? Brian and Steve. And 34 others. Blah, 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 blah. And 34 others. There we go. Open my eyes, I cannot see all the things this world could be. There we go. Perfect. All right. Okay. Let's get this properly sorted. There we go. Fantastic. I appreciate that, Aurora. It's your birthday today, Brian. That's fun. It is definitely not my birthday. My birthday is in January. There we go. Open my eyes, I cannot see. Can you guys, you'll let me know, can you guys hear the birds in the background right now? Or should I unplug the actual speaker? I might do that. Hold on. Can you hear them better now or before? Which one really allowed them to speak? Because that's actually part of this environment quite intimately. Now? Now. Okay. Now. I'll try and move as little on the stones as possible. Because they're a little bit crunchy. It's about the same. Okay. All alone, I cannot see. Are those real birds? Yes, they are. They're everywhere. So the tuis are out this morning in storm. They're all just out of sight, but if one shows up on a branch close to us, we can definitely hone the camera in on them. They're New Zealand natives, so you actually won't have heard their noises before. They'll be unique. Unless you've been to New Zealand. Tuis aren't rare in New Zealand, but they are in terms of the world, so because they're only from this one tiny little place with a population the size of Chicago. So there we go. It's not a kiwi. I've actually never run into a kiwi in the actual wilderness, the bush, before. I've seen them in sanctuaries, but that's it. Which is okay, but at the same time, there's an element of sadness to that though, isn't there? Is there? A nocturnal? Maybe I wouldn't see them anyway. Just wish they were more abundant. Just they're quite, in their innocence, they're quite defenceless. So things like stoats, dogs, cats, give them a very hard time because they'd never prepared to deal with such challenging foes. Really cruising the trees. Look, nature's pretty special. Nature's special in that you get to be out in it while you make it, whereas a lot of other subjects, say for example you paint a figure. Now what happens with a figure? The figure's in front of you and you're in the same room as the figure, but you're not actually in the space. So like, I'm going to be naughty here. Literally down by our feet, leaves, plants. So when we paint a scene that we see, we're also technically in the scene, and that's that adds to it. You know, you're on the bus, you're on the train. That's the thrill here. And there's a certain, I want to use the word serenity, but I'm not sure if it's the right one. To actually being in the space and breathing in the air. So like, probably that's my most important one. I love the sounds. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Hold on. Over there. I don't know if I can go up high enough. It might be the tiniest little black dot, but it's a tui, and it's up there in the in those little trees down there, so that's pretty exciting. Put you guys back here. There we go. And Jules. Good morning. It's like I was saying, it's a ripe old 7:39 here in New Zealand at the moment, so it's early. It's early. And we need that because, and this is what I'm talking about, just up here, this is the hues that we need to get. See that sky? See how it touches those clouds? That doesn't happen during the day. That's because the sun's lower down there in the horizon line. It's coming up and down. Whoop. Don't fall over, guys. You're on a new stand and the stand slipped, which is kind of funny. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Let me just get you back into position. There we are. Perfect. And you're in the position now. It might fall over again though. This is the reality of the situation that we live in. It's a clamp rather than the usual stands that I'm using, but I was in a hurry this morning. I thought, let's just get out there, let's just get started, because we don't have long before these tones actually fade. We've maybe got another 30, 45 minutes to capture them. And then after that, we get bitten by sandflies and we charge inside. Got me right on the back of the kneecap. That's so rude. You know, they bite you just in there on the tender part. Naughty, naughty mosquitoes. And If I miss your question, if you have one too, guys, I'm going to try and keep up. If I miss one, that's all good. You can hit me up basically on any social platform, and I'll get back to you. If you already have on Instagram and I haven't replied, that's on me. I'm just wildly behind on that platform at the moment. I've got a little plan that I do each morning where I reply to as many messages as I can without it taking up the entire day. How did you learn to paint? Apollo. And thanks for pinning that message. That's so unbelievably helpful. I learned to paint as a young boy. Always loved little creative things. Playing around with colour, clay, all those little bits and pieces. And my mother made those tools available to me. The clays, the colour, all these little bits and pieces. So, at a young age, I learned to paint thanks to my mother. But, later on in life, tutors and schools and all this sort of stuff, it's great. I learned a lot in those places. But I never learned as much. As I learned from the peers that were around me as I was growing up. The people on their own life journey who can give you advice and feedback that develops your own art style. Sometimes from a close friend, you need to hear that what you're doing is wrong or what you're doing is right. And if you don't have someone in your life who can give you that honest feedback, you can get somewhat lost because there's so many paths to take and you don't want to be on all of them. You'd settle for a few different ones, but there's some of them which are unique to you that you need to get. And those who love you typically know what those may or may not be for you. Can help guide you towards them. Right, here we go. I clean this blue shirt properly. You may remember the shirt, it had like a whole bunch of white spots on it. Now it's clean. So I'm pretty proud of myself. Not easy to do with that acrylic paint, but anyway, we did it. People be wondering, ooh, how do you do it? Lots of scrubbing. Good afternoon. Oh, thanks, Evan Devison, I appreciate that. And family is good. It's one of those early morning sessions, so Shelby's fast asleep. I'm getting eaten by sandflies, but I was determined to come out here because I don't get these lighting conditions all the time. So when they are here, I've got to make proper good use of them. Because since we're not painting from a photo at the moment, which, don't get me wrong, photos are totally fine. That's fantastic technology. Had Van Gogh and Picasso had Google, they would have used if Van Gogh had Google, they would have used photos, absolutely. But in our case, we don't really paint in the environment all that much anymore. So, when we do, it's very, very inconvenient. So, all the light cannot see. After this, I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I'm supposed to be trying to quit caffeine, but it's alright. We'll have a little coffee, and when I have that coffee, I'm going to listen to some of The Greatest Showman. This is the greatest show, and it don't come down, and the world can't stop us now. Watching it come through, da-da-da-da-da-do. Oh, this is the greatest show. Oh yes, Now this isn't black, remember guys, this is Payne's grey, so it's going to appear very differently to our blacks. It's going to look much more innocent, and that's what I'm after. From now on, oh my god, I love that song. I love it how it's not just a romance song as well. When I listen to that song, and he's like, from now on, it's more internal. You'll more imagine it for you, changing who you are internally into something different, or presenting yourself in a different light, and or the new, what's the word for a new intention, new direction, new outlook, new philosophy, new style. And I always find that, okay, guilty secret right now, when I get into a rut and I lose my art style a little bit, when I get back to it and I feel what it's like to actually make art again, and I feel that creative process, and I feel the flow, and I love what I'm making, and it's enjoyable and pleasurable, that's the song that runs in my head a little bit. Because I'm like, from now on, and it's like, I want to maintain this feeling, and obviously you can't. Obviously you go from this intense experience of flow and ecstasy that you know how to make a craft, and inevitably, as a circular process occurs, you'll go through another lull. But you may, why is that? I need to shut up and paint actually, this light's changing too fast. You'll inevitably end up in another lull, and that's okay. It's not about avoiding lulls or saying that, oh, no one goes through them. We're all amazing artists who never ever get lulls. The trick is to know how to deal with a lull before you end up in it. If you know how to handle the fact that you are not fully engaged with your craft or connected to it at this very moment, that's a powerful, powerful tool. I love music. So if I ever find myself slipping a little bit, and my creative process isn't as hot, isn't burning as well as I want it to be, then I'll typically have a little earpod in here. You'll see it sometimes. I'll be playing something, sometimes Disney, sometimes country. Whatever I think I need to spark me back into the mode of joy and fun within a painting. And then, if that fails, I turn off the camera. And it's just me. No filming, no relevant art, just me and a canvas. And I go through it together. And make something that no one else will ever see. And in that moment, I get to enjoy the fact that this isn't about anything at the crux of it, about anything other than the simple pleasure of creating something. It is exciting painting with the scenery as it changes, yeah. It makes it have this bit of a speed challenge to it. You're like going, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And the light changes so rapidly, so you can see we've gone around these pale tones today. But like midday, you just know it's going to be all on with those saturated popping colours. And that's where we can still see a lot of these yellows and reds. A couple of greens splicing through there. Greens keep showing up, but we talked about this. We don't want to live in the realm of the greens. We want to keep dancing in and dancing out of the greens and focusing more on the identity of these trees with the change of colour over the day. If it was just green, it's like saying, hey, I know trees are green. Let's make green trees. And yes, there's a little bit of green in there. But for that scene to be correct, we need to get all the other spectrum of colours. Let me pick you up. Over here. Over in this scene here, those trees are almost a dark black colour. There's Payne's grey in those. That's what we're working on at the moment. But the sky, and it's steely blue, and that Naples yellow kissing the bottom of the clouds. And then down here, that's not green. That's these beautiful greys. Naples colours, steely pale tones over the landscape. If we just see green, this painting will fail. I'm sorry for the aggression, but it will fail. Now, you're going to see the full colour too, because the sun's just about to pop up, and when it does, it's going to hit the canvas, and we're going to have a sight to see. And you might be like, oh, that's awful. Or you might be like, I see what he's talking about. Here we go. All the lights cannot see. Then after the sun's come up, that'll be getting close. We'll go for another. When did I come out? Was it 7:15? 7:45? 7:15. I've been going for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Get these things. The little sandflies keep biting it and it makes me forget. All the lines I cannot see. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Do it for an hour. Do it for an hour. Well, the problem is, I forget how long we've been going for. Since I do it for an hour, I'm just like, I don't know whether we've done 20 or 40 or 50 minutes. I cannot see. Dun, 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 dun. Ellie, you like it? There's lots and lots of subtle colours in it. Let me bring you closer to stop it from being so pixelated on you. If we come right up into this corner here, you can see how many, these blues and Payne's greys, that's why they stick out. That's what we're currently working on. You can see how many wild colours we're dealing with, and that's the key. It needs to be all slightly transparent and layered up aggressively, and that way in this moment, rather than just seeing the trees as they are right now, a photo is going to do that. A photo can do that perfectly. We want the whole day. We want the morning tones, the evening tones, the intensity of the day as the sun hammers down on it. We need all those bits and pieces. All the light I cannot see. Dun, 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 dun. La da 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 da. Do 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 do. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. There we go. Sorry, I was missing a few of these comments here. What taught you how to paint? That's a common question. I think the best thing to do, I'll answer it once per live, but after that, you can leave on the About Me page on the website. And there's a whole eclectic journey, because it's not just one art school. There's tutoring, and there's universities, and politics, and parents, and peers, and all these sorts of things, all culminating to create someone's style. I think to whittle it down to say, oh, I studied at Elam, is a gross understatement of what it actually takes to develop a personality in which art can be generated from. I don't think simply understanding the place on planet Earth in which you learn to put paint on canvas helps us understand how you got there any better. All the light you cannot see. Hello Ava, how you doing? I get a smug smile. Oh, I do, yeah. Every time I land these colours just right, it's addictive. It is absolutely addictive. This tree here, that stroke there is currently my favourite. It's not connected. It shows a branch, but it's not actually connected to the base of the tree. And that means we're painting little moments that we see, rather than getting terribly hung up on what's actually in the shot. There we go. Beautiful. You can see I'm adding just a little more darkness into the tips of those trees there. Right, we need our next colour. Excuse the rocks making a noise here. I've got the blue and I've got the white. I'm wondering if I use a raw sap green, which we've sort of used in this picture already a few times. I think I'm going to get yellow, Naples yellow, and combine it into the baby blue. It's going to give us a murky attempt at green. I think that's the best way to put it. What sort of colour do you want? Oh, give me a murky attempt at green. Let's have a little look-see at that. Yeah, it's okay. Get a bit more of this. I need to go back to the art store and restock my blue. I ran it out. I loved my blue too much. I used it up. And now we're here. Okay. Let's have a little look-see out in this environment. Very good. Yeah. Yes. You know, I reckon one more blazing hot day out there in the intensity of the sun, and we'll get this painting to a stage where we think, actually, this isn't far off complete. All the light cannot see. Our little tragedy, guys. Got something to complain about. I'm going to whinge about it here because the collector's not here. So, if he is here, I might get in trouble. But I keep a private collection of my own work in my home because it gives me that zing and that happiness in my own life. And recently a collector came to me and said he wanted a piece of work. And I said, I'll show you through the stuff that I've got. You know, there's nothing available, the studio's sold out. I'm working on some landscapes, but here's the stuff in my home right now. And he saw one, he's like, I'll take that one. And I'm like, ooh, Shelby's gonna kill me. So we've got this piece hanging up in our foyer, which Shelby just adores. And I hadn't listed it anywhere because it was just, Shelby liked it, made her happy, and I sent a picture through to him of it, just so I could see all the work in the house, and he said, I'll take that one. And I'm like, you sir, you have got me into trouble. But at the same time, we've had it for about, going on, 4 or 5 months now, and so there is this definite element of someone else do it in that sense. So anyway, I just thought I sent him 4 pieces and he's like, yeah, it's definitely that one, that's the one we're taking. So gutted. Not gutted in that I wouldn't have been gutted for the other ones, but that piece had been with me the longest, so you form more of a connection to it the longer you have it for. And this piece here, I felt like me and that piece had a real click. It was a landscape painting, and I'd been to the place a lot of times, so it was just a real pity. But anyway, my job now, and see how we capture it. Sorry, side note, branches now. We were doing black before. Now we're using this colour, this sort of murky greenish yellow, which is the light hitting those branches now. The light on this tree is actively changing on us. There we go. No, I left off that trail of thought and then I completely lost it. Curry yellow. It is curry yellow, except I've spliced it with a teeny bit of white, a teeny bit of Payne's grey, and a teeny bit of blue. So it's not that dark kind of yellow you might be used to. Sort of highlighting Indian yellow sort of tone. It's far more soft, and that's what we're after. Okay, let's get a few more of these little branches. There we go. All the light you cannot see. Now we're into the green. This is going from that colour to this beautiful lime kaffir kind of a green. We can get it all on this tree here, but we're running out of time because that sun is changing the colour palettes of our environment so rapidly. We're almost out of time, team. Where are we at? 8:02. Let's get in here. There we go. Beautiful. You can see that light starting to hit the canvas now. Running out of time. There we go. Beautiful. God, that's a stunning day. See it? See how it's hitting in the top corner here? How are we doing? Yeah, so as that sun comes up, it's going to get the whole work, and we're going to see it in the sun, see it in the light. Oh my God, it's hitting the backs of those trees so freaking perfectly. There we go, hold on. You've got to see this. Hold on, let me spin you around. Now see over here, suddenly this is the moment where it's in contrast. Half that darker colour, and on the other side, there's that greyish, but also Naples yellow, but a bit of green, a bit of that kaffir lime in there too, on the other side of the trees. I wish I could zoom in and show you more, but that's these trees. And there's green in there in the tops and the nettles, but there's so much more in it. And look, that sky's already started to change to its regular daily tone. So we're going to be in a little bit of shade for about the next 10 or so minutes. And that line of light is going to slowly come down over the painting. And from there we can navigate whether we think we need A, B or C. All the light you cannot see. All this world. This kaffir lime colour was the perfect colour for what we needed. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. We still have some highlights to capture. That'll be a midday thing for sure. Because the highlights I want to stand out on top of everything are going to be the ones that are from that radiant sun beating down on them. We didn't do one at pitch black night. You could say that's a missed opportunity. But I can't imagine there'd be a whole lot to see. So that's all right. There we go. All the light you cannot see. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Loo, dun, dun, loo, dun, dun. Put more white into this shot. Ta-ta-ta. Yeah, really, before I come in here to paint, do some knee stretches. Okay. You, sir, are watching the landscape slowly come to life. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Rocks down here. There we go. There's rolling clouds coming through here. Whew. All right. We're going to add another colour to this. Yes, we are. Sap green. That's going to be our next little thing to throw in here. And then we'll basically see how we're sitting. Hello from Malaysia. I'm from New Zealand. You would understand that art is individually subjective. It's kind of correct. And that's because it's not just about the artiste, it's about the viewer. The viewer has an element of importance when it comes to the creation of art. That's at least, regardless of how you argue, at least 50% of the value in the art. And so, the best art doesn't seek to be the best creation, say, that the artist could fathom. But the best art is the best connection between what the artist could make and the viewer can see. If you can share that connection and enjoy the art together, or feel the same thing, know the same thing, or be aware for the briefest of seconds that you exist in the same universe, then the art has served its purpose perfectly. And I think that's why Van Gogh is so amazing. Look at his work, and it's not like you see the most amazing element of craft that blows your mind in a million wild ways, but when you look at it, you do feel like you can see a man who found his only joy in making this piece, that every stroke, you don't imagine it was made bored, you imagine it was made lovingly, as if every single moment he was painting, he fully believed that he was in the right spot at that point in time. I think that's really special. I think there's an element of, is it altruism in us that loves the fact that in those paintings, Van Gogh was happy. Maybe not in his life, but in those paintings he was. There we go. Perfect. Alright team, a few more little lines, and then the light has changed too much. There we go. You like the lime green? Yeah, I feel like we opened up with such an autumny palette, and then we switched into the greens and the blues and then the steel sort of tones, and now we're finding our way back to not the raw greens, but these beautiful sort of kaffir lime greens that really are, they really do sit in the picture nicely. They really do. Beautiful. Alright team, we're going to pause there. When I come back, if we think that these tones are the correct ones that complete this work, we'll get the red, we'll get the blue, and we'll get the yellow. And those three primary colours add that final primal element over, and we're going to spot little pockets. So the red we're going to use is crimson, not scarlet, so a warm red. And you think there's red already in it? There is, but that red is scarlet. So we want crimson, and then with the blue, ultramarine, so that deep, deep blue. At the moment, those Payne's greys and blacks seem to pop out and be quite stark, but imagine once that aquamarine, ultramarine blue comes in, it'll make them flatten and nice into the work. Still add that depth, but not feel so stark and punching out like Dalmatian spots. I would fight in an auction to win. Cheers, Armando, I appreciate that. So, yes, it is Impressionism. So, if we come right up in here close, you can see we've just got a whole bunch of little wild colours splashing over each other. And we come right back, probably, let's come all the way to here. We come all the way to here, you can start to see there's a bit of a ridge there, and there's some trees coming up, and then there's the nettles going into the sky. But the more you look, the more you think you spot other little pockets and bits and bobs going on. And that's the same with this view. Immediately when I show you it, some trees, bit of a ridge going on. We're painting beyond that flax bush. That's not in our shot. And from there you see it, but then the more you look, the more little pieces you notice that are going on. So that's what we're trying to capture. An initially basic picture that gets more and more complex and deeper and romantic the longer you look at it. Anyway, guys, whoever said espresso time is correct. It's going to be filter coffee time because I don't have my espresso machine, but that is the plan. Alright, guys, thank you so much for joining wherever you are in the world. It's been a bit of an early start, so different time for streaming, but we did some good ground. Love to wherever you are. Hope you're healthy. Hope you're happy. Victoria, long time no see. Lovely to see you pop on again and again. And if you guys want to connect more, everything you need is via the link in my bio. There's all the platforms, all the links, all the everythings. See you, Jules. Bye, guys. Dun, dun, dun.